Okay, that was kind of cool. We looped some stuff up. Well, now I want to really get more in depth about the sample edit page. There are 3 ways to load samples. We can go here to our pop-up menu. I can scroll to a sample. Click on it, it loads into the display. Next, I can click on a sample here in the project info section. Click, drag. It loads into the display. I can also click on a sample, then right-click it. I get this menu, go to Edit, it loads. Let's go over the display window. Now it's pretty simple. The top part of this window can either be samples or time. Now, I'm going to right-click right here on that number line. You see it right there. It's time in seconds or milliseconds and in samples. Now, currently the selection is samples. I'll go here, and now I'm in terms of time. Now, the end and the beginning of a sample, they're green. See this green line right here? That's green. That's the end. The line over here to the left is the start, and that's green as well. But if I move this line, it turns red. I move this line here also in the end one, that turns red. Okay? But see, I turn that red, and this one turned back to green. I grab this one, move this over here. Now this one turns back to green. Be aware of that. Also, sometimes you want to zoom in. You want to see, well, I don't know, it could be close, but what? So you grab right here, this little button there, and you zoom in. Oh, this is our beginning. We get a little better view. We can zoom right into the sample. I may want to move it back some. I'll move it over here. Let me zoom in again. You grab the little button, you zoom in. Now, once you have zoomed in, you can always get this little piece right here and go right along your waveform and look for other parts you might want to zoom in for. But of course, you want to bring the button back out, so the longer that little piece comes in the middle, you can get even a better view, and you get larger increments to view of your sample waveform. Now let me put this back in, and we got the full. Now I'm going to go for sample edit right here. Now we can do one or two things. We could trim it up, or we can chop it up. You know what I mean? Now trim means we're going to just get the edge here. I'm going to trim it here, a little bit there, a little bit over here, and get the right size. That size right there I want. Or we can chop it up into a whole bunch of pieces. And I'll click on chop right here. And as you can see right there, what the software does, it looks at the peaks and the valleys. Okay, this is this high, that's that high. I'm going to cut here, stop here, cut here, put a line there. And these little lines appear there, little green ones. And you can always click on them, you know. Hey, I want to move this one over here. I think that's a better place for a chop. So between chop and trim is that, of course, chop is going to look at the entire waveform and find parts to chop up and make into little samples. Now to play the sample back, we got these pads that are designated as playback pads. For example, A13. That says play loop. Now it loop. Okay, that loops. Now, A15 says play sample. A16 says play all. Okay, here's the difference. I'm going to take this part here, put this into here. I'm going to take the end and drag it into here. And now this little area in the middle is the sample. I'll play the pad. That's it. But now I want to play the whole thing, not just the middle part. I'll hit A16. That's the difference. The next two pads are pads A10 and A11. Now, A10 is play to the start. So it's going to play from the beginning here to the start here where that green line's at. That's all it plays. And then A11 will play from start. That's right where the green line is at right there. To the end. Now we're going to use pads 6 and 7. To do it, I have to click on loop. So loop here has to be active, right? Now it says there, play to loop start. Now, I'll play loop for you once. Now you understand. And this one says, play from loop start. Now this pad goes to obviously to the full end of the sample, past the actual end that we see here in loop. Okay? Okay, 2 more pads. Pad A2 and A3, okay? 2 and 3. Now, if I hit this pad 2, we play from the green line here, start, to the red line. And if I hit pad number 3, we play from the end of this sample, red line, to the end of the sample here. So if this is all the way over here, that's all we get. One more thing before we move on to part 2. These banks mean nothing in this. See, I'm clicking here. All it means is D, F, G, H, whatever it is. These commands for the pads remain the same regardless of bank.